Hello and welcome to race number 4 of the EFRL Cup Series. This is Matt here in the booth. I do not know if Wolfgang will be joining us. I just got a message from him. Um, but yeah, I guess he's not joining us. So I'm gonna try and do this myself. Good luck. And yeah, currently out on track on 41. Doing his practice session. That is Dean Demmer. He is not in a Ken Block tribute. He's actually his normal number. Doing a little Jimmy Johnson tribute here for Legacy Racing. All right, and Dean actually is only at 6 right now, but he's come across the line. See if this time. I don't think it's really going to improve. Because the way he was looking off of 4. But yeah, he's gonna be in 6. We have a little over 2 minutes left. Also, I do have a new mic. So if nothing is working properly, let me know, and I will try to fix it. Like there is no audio from iRacing. When the cars fire up, I do need to check and make sure that I got some audio coming through because that would be absolutely terrible hearing my own voice. Tire stinking time. Um, Okay, we do have some car noises. We can rest in peace. And I have a minute left. I am gonna get some water. Have to hear a terrible voice the entire time. You at least need to hear a mediocre. Paul Irvin looks like he's just sitting there in the 51. Try and put the camera on him. Alright, thankfully got back in time. We are all gridded up. I'm going to try and quickly go through the rundown as fast as I can, and hopefully I can get at least uh,
You have a second wonderful broadcaster. Would you mind posting the broadcast link or sending it to me?
did I not send it to you?
Just do it one more time, please.
Oh, I copied it, I never sent it. Oops. Alright, there we go.
All right, thank you, brother. Best of luck up in the booth tonight.
Alright, thanks, Brady. There we go. Alright. A lot of new faces here I'm not used to, which is great to see. We are not going green, thankfully, so it gives me a little more time. Starting on pole, we have Aaron Brown. I've raced with him in other leagues. Okay. Was not expecting him to be in the 7, and I was not expecting him to be in a Camaro. To his outside, looks like it is the 77 of Brian Lorenzo, and his inside, the 96 of William George. Man of top 6, that's good for him. To his outside, the 54 of Landon Lacey. And then in 5th place is the, not the 41, I meant to click on the 14 of Nicholas Fuller. And no lights should be on the pace car. Aaron Brown will send us to green. 100 laps here, oops, at Kentucky. And with such a big field, we'll see how many green flag laps we can do. Wouldn't shock me to have a couple cautions here and there. But we do have a really, really big field, which is way more than we've seen at the other tracks. Bristol was actually pretty big too. But it is nice to see this league grow. Brady's voice you heard earlier, he's an admin EFRL, and he's actually kind of overseeing the series. He's done a great job so far, and it's been very competitive, very clean. We'll see if it can be kept up even with these giant fields. And there's way too many new people that have pointed out about their debut race. But Aaron Brown, new to the series. Brian Lorenzo, he's been here all the races so far. Pace car to safety pit road, and we're ready to go green right here at Kentucky.
Green flag, green flag.
Away they get going. Top 2 cars with about an even jump. Brian Lorenzo side by side with the 7. And everybody's still sticking in line. You don't see anybody poking their nose out until we get to turn 1. Some people back there are putting it 3 wide already. But we are good so far. Exiting turn number 2. All is good in the world. Aaron Brown is leading, along with a 96 of William George right behind him. We have 20 cars actually on track right now. 26 people in the session, which is quite a bit. Not as much as the Gen 6 series. Yesterday they raced at, or 2 days ago, they raced at Pocono, and that was eventful. And also Bristol in the Truck series, which was yesterday. From what I've heard, it was also eventful. People are getting single filed out right now. I can see back there, I think the 41 Dean Demmer is in a cluster of cars and actually got himself out of the cluster. He's up to 7th right now, fighting Malachi Drake, who's on the inside of him. Was. Behind him is a whole pack of cars. I see the 47, Alex Tallman. It's not his first race, but that's a new paint scheme for him. The 81 Forrest Smith riding up through the middle. Looks like with Tallman on his inside, and I think that's the new someone I don't know on his outside, but they got settled out. Oh, he's not new. That's the 89 of Brad Stefane. Behind Brad, I believe that is the 6 of Jeffrey Israel. That's a nice looking scheme that he's got there. Aaron Brown still up front, 5 laps into this thing. Brian Lorenzo has fallen back a little bit. I don't know if he's trying to pace himself for this long event. But the 96 is staying very steady behind him. William George kind of keep him out constant 3 to 4 tenths. Right now it's on the higher side of things and actually increasing. So maybe Aaron's, I was going to say setting the pace, but we have a caution out. I need to take a look and see who caused it. It's going to take me a lot more time than usual because it's only booth. I'm going to try my best to get someone consistently week in, week out because it makes it a lot more entertaining for you guys. And I more about trying to give a good product versus, you know, hogging all the TV fame myself because eventually I get sick of my own voice. See the wreck. Jeremy Lapinus is involved. I'm going to try and get a good spot and then I'll move the camera live again. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Take a look at Jeremy. Looks like in the middle, trying to save. Oh no, he clobbered Brady hard into the outside wall. And then blinked there and forever blinked. Want to see what happened from Brady's perspective. That Brady up there, oh, just gets clobbered. Hard to the outside wall. I believe the 20 can still keep on going though. Going to give him some air damage, and with the track like this, it's going to hurt him. But we'll see how much Brady can get repaired, and hopefully he can keep on going. I know his standards are usually a lot higher than what he has been running, but still he's been doing pretty decent. I believe I know who that EOL is going to be because it's kind of obvious, but Sure, our race control will make that official when the announcement is known. No lights on the pace car, so we'll be going green next time by. Everybody is lining up. Aaron Brown on the inside, 96 of William George on the outside, followed by Brian Lonzo. He's going to put himself on the inside, and he can get a better jump this time. And from there, it's pretty much same usual guys. I don't think anyone's made drastic moves, but I'm only really looking into the top 10. I think Forrest Smith gained a bunch. A great looking car in the 81. In this shot also you can see how many cars are on this field. Yeah, the 33 has taken a DNF it looks like. Not out on track. Oh, no, Walter's here. Okay, we're going green.
Green flag, green flag.
7 to Aaron Brown gets a really good jump on the inside. 96, so. You can see the 41 back there, Dean Demmer, going down to the inside. That'd be 14. I don't know if I like this camera angle all that much. I'm going to go back to 2. Dean is up to 6. I think back around where he started, but right now side by side with the 14. Aaron Brown's going to lead us away. Brian Lorenzo takes the number 2 spot. William George falls back to 3rd. And those guys are pretty steady. Landon Lacey, 54, is currently up to the 4th place position. He's looked his nose under George, but doesn't have a run really to get it. And he's being stalked also by the 14 of Fuller. Good day for Fuller so far. You see 3 oh dang. 3 wide behind him. Dean Demmer was in the middle of that. He had to back out. Brad Stefane has been making moves so far on the restart. He started barely inside the top 10. And he's currently, well, 7th. So he gained a little bit of ground. You also see 3 wide again, but with Dean this time on the inside. Brad Stefane in the middle, and on the outside, Malachi Drake. They're so far keeping it clean just away around this entire track. And it's been over 3/4 of a lap, still side by side. Let's say Brad Stefane backs out of it. Dean Demmer's gonna take the 7th place position. I'm sorry there. And it looks like they settled this out, but it took a lap. 3 wide for an entire lap. Very impressive from these guys. And now they are single filed out. You can see them snaking down the backstretch, trying to get that draft. Dean right now to the inside of the 81, but Brian gets contact. I don't know. They probably didn't know that they're 3 wide. Great save out of Brian and Forrest right there. Brian's going to pay for it, though. He falls back to 7th out of all of that. Someone's scraping the wall back there. Can't tell. Noah just went by him. Yeah, I can't tell who that. It was an all-black car. Not a scheme I'm used to, or I'd be able to point that out better. But we do have some distinct packs here. Dean Demmer from 5th place on back is a giant pack. And then between them, there's about a little less than a second. right now between Dean and Nicholas. I'm gonna move the camera to Nicholas so you can see how big that gap is. It's moderate. It is closing up though in typical Dean fashion. But Aaron Brown leading this. William George, Landon Lacey up to the third position after Lorenzo had to make that save, not knowing that they were 3 wide. I am going to take a look, see if we have any close battles going on. It does. I think Frank Hughes back there in 61. Looks like he's in a mess of cars. Oh, the 81! I just saw him go up into the wall. No, and there's going to be a yellow. Try and get the camera quick to him.
Caution, yellow flag.
It's going to be a second caution of the night, lap right here on lap 18. I saw part of it, but I'm going to load some glorious content. We'll see more in depth kind of what happened between these guys. See, Forrest got put in the wall. He came off of the wall into someone else. Oh, contact with Brad Stefane. That from that angle it's tough to see who came down. See if he came down. Oh, and then they just piled into each other. Brady also involved the end, but very minor damage onto that machine. It was mainly Forrest Smith and who was the other guy? Gonna go back, doing a little cheater method here. I know. Gonna see who that other guy was. Oh, that looks like that's the 03. So James Coy was also involved in that mishap going on there. Up to full time now. The race off of pit road, well, part of it. .33 is back in this race. He's 3 laps down. The way things have been going so far, I definitely think he can be fighting for the lucky dog. But James Coy is a lap down. He would, if there were to be another caution, he would be the one that would get the lucky dog. Forrest Smith is now a lap down as well. He's getting the damage repaired. TJ Elaine can definitely correct me if I butcher it. He's also getting some damage repaired. Not sure why. Haven't seen him be involved in too much stuff so far. You still have some lights on the pace car. You know, it takes absolutely forever for these pace laps, but they pit so soon. They're trying to rush to get through the replay so you can see some of the pit stops. It'll be a lot faster. I don't need to beat a dead horse. You know why it'll be faster. But yeah, and then they just sit here on these pace laps, which great if I have commercials. So if anyone out there has any ads or something that they want me to play, I can easily do that. I believe there's going to be no lights on the pace car. Yep, so they are going to be doubling up. Next time by, we will be going green. And we have a new driver who's made his way into the top 3. That is the number 4, Matt Cochran. I'm not sure what he did on his tire strategy in order to get up to that 3rd place. But definitely impressive for him. But we'll see if there's any drawbacks to getting that track position because he's still going to be in the dirty air. Alright, pace car goes down to pit road. And away Aaron Brown can go as soon as he reaches the restart zone. Pick any time he wants to go in that zone. She'll be anytime start. Now he goes right away in the box, fires off. Massive jump for the 7. The outside doesn't stand a chance. William George already battling right now side by side, but I think even Matt Cochran was caught off guard too. Because you can see that gap of 2 to 3 car lengths between first and second right now. William George going to take advantage over it though. Going to pass the 4. But he is fighting back. So it doesn't look like he did any sacrifice with the tires. And Matt Cochran is still able to fight here. Definitely not as fast as these guys, but right now in 3rd, we'll see if he can come back to William George. And he does, side by side William down the backstretch. Actually, he's holding his own quite nicely. And Dean Demmer is pointing his nose down there. Don't know if he's thinking about going 3 wide again. And he doesn't. Instead, he is pushing Cochran down the front stretch. And George gets a nice push from Lacey. Lacey, though, on the top side, he's going to make him 4 wide. And a caution. No, Dean Demmer slams the inside wall. And they're wrecking behind him. All stemmed from 3 wide. We'll take a closer look what happened. Poor Dean. Actually, last one was deemed a racing incident. We'll see what happened this time. I gotta get us to a good spot. You're gonna want to take a look at the 54 Landon Lacey, who jumped to the outside. Thought he had the momentum to do it, and he actually was really quick. But there's some contact between him and George. See, actually, oh, the 96 came down. Dean slams the inside. And then behind him, the 2 in a separate incident. Gonna go back a little bit. Try to go back. I think as they're checking up for it, yeah, the 83, I don't think you can see it. Sends the two around, and two has very minimal damage. He's good, but yeah, there blinks out there and decides to toe red at the end. Interesting. I think he blinked out because I see him on track now. Oh, no, he did take a toe. Oh, don't worry, Brett. Brady's been involved in the first two wrecks so far. Victim to the first, and the second one got barely nicked avoiding it. So I'm sure with your good luck here, he'd get involved in some more. Aaron Brown has led every single lap so far, all 28 as soon as we cross the finish line, start finish line. Caution number 3 here at Kansas. We are just over a quarter way done with this thing. Good even, Mr. Oh my gosh. I don't even think your name's English. But good evening, Mr. 42. Oh dang, that sucks. It didn't look too bad. Damage wise from up here. But 7.5 minutes are required for Demmer. Like, his race is done. But if he chooses to sit on pit road like he currently is, he'd be able to get back out in this eventually. But he's going to be many laps down, but he'll be able to salvage at least a little bit. I'm sure he is going to make the playoffs with his driving so far, but you still want to give it, get as many points as you can for that playoff picture. Oh, so it's spelled lasagna, but with the Z. Okay. Oh, gotcha. So he pretty much needs to repair it, or the car is not going to handle it all. So that is very realistic with iRacing having broken toe links, because in the real season, it's plagued people all over the place, even with a very, what seemed to be minimal hit. The toe link usually seemed to be the first thing to go, and thus pretty much ended your night, or at least made it a pain to deal with, because the toe links are, without being too technical, it helps you actually keep the car going the direction you want it. Without that, your toe's going to be off and the car is going to want to wander, and essentially you can't really go fast without spinning out. So having a broken toe link sucks. It takes a while to fix it. We are going to be going green here soon. Aaron Brown going to lead us to the green flag again tonight. Going to be starting lap number 30 out of 100. Away he goes. But the 90/07 Malachi Drake is able to time it better than the outside. Cochran side by side with, holy cow, that's pretty Floyd up in the third. How do you get there? But Brady Floyd side by side with Malachi Drake, I think he's going to have to back out. Not going to get the momentum, but dang, wasn't expecting him to be in top 3. But very great for the number 20 team. It looks like his car is in good shape. He's being very competitive. Cochran competitive too, but he's under pressure from Brian Lorenzo. Brian to the inside of the number 4 machine. Down the backstretch, Brian's going to dive it in deep. The 4 is going to go very wide. He's going to lose a spot to Brian easily. He might actually lose a spot to the 51 as well. And 51 of Paul Irvin, side by side right now, entering turn 1. He's going to clear the number 4. The number 4 is going to have to slot in line behind the 51 down the backstretch. But, oh, dang. Brown is under pressure. I guess I missed that lead change. Malachi Drake able to take over the top spot. And I think that's because of pit strategy. How in the world did I miss that? I didn't think I went down pit road that last time. My apologies. But Malachi Drake leading this thing. With Brady Floyd to his... was outside, but he's going to slot back in line. Aaron Brown's going to get put back in dirty air, so we'll see how his car handles now. It's the first time he's ever been in traffic. But Brady Floyd and Malachi Drake are significantly slower. Brian Lorenzo is all over the back bumper. So actually, I wonder if these guys stayed out. That's why Cochran had the track position he did. I think Aaron Brown and whoever was second at the time stayed out. And then everybody else pitted, so that's why it appeared to be normal. But the new tires are starting to show, like with Brian all over the back bumper at Brady. But actually that has calmed down, and Brady has started to try reeling Malachi Drake again. And yeah, these guys are starting to get settled out. First through 5th is about evenly spaced. Noah Walter actually in the top 5. That's huge for him and his 23 team. He's with Adria Esports, kind of racing part-time. Usually I've seen him do the plate tracks, but seen him do an intermediate. Great, and he's doing very well here. I believe he's also got up front due to the pit strategy. Paul Urban. It's kind of been up front all day along with Brian Lorenzo. You can see Brady Floyd trailing Malachi Drake. Brady is like trying to be 1 lane higher than Malachi Drake is, trying to see if he can get a run. He's closing a little bit. Actually closing a good amount there. We'll see if Brady tries to go high around Malachi Drake. Tries to get a run off, but Malachi Drake so far being really solid up front. These top 4 starting to pull away from Noah. Noah's kind of in a race of his own at the moment, but Frank Hughes is 3/10 behind Noah. I'm going to see if there's any other battles going on. Noah is actually under pressure right now. Side by side with 61 of Frank Hughes. He's trying to fight on the top side, but they're just walking right around him at the moment. Looks like that tire difference. So he got his 3 seconds of fame, or 5 seconds. But right now he's trying to hold on for dear life. And 16 just heard him rub the wall. They're 3 wide. They managed to hold it. And go along with Demers' comment, people in iRacing tend to not have good spatial awareness. Unfortunately, we've had one event here where they weren't able to keep it 3 wide, but there's so many other times where they have and just had some good racing. And I think we're going to see more of that, especially towards the end. And hopefully no cautions along to go with that, but it's going to be difficult because you're not going to want to give as much room as you would early on. I got to switch the camera. I love you, Noah, but I got to switch the camera. Brian Lorenzo has gotten around Brady Floyd. He's right now trying to track down our leader, Malachi Drake. He's led ever since Brown has retired from the lead. Brown is currently sitting. There it is. Oh, dang. Aaron Brown all the way down to 17th. This car is definitely starting to struggle. And with this league, they'll occasionally have cautions that are back-to-back, but for the most part, it's still relatively clean. Floyd right now under pressure from Paul Irvin. Paul Irvin's gonna clear Brady. Brady's gonna have to fall back in line. See if he can get a run on the 51. But behind Brady, there is a 1 second gap between him and Frank Hughes. And Lorenzo has caught Malachi Drake as well. We'll see what lanes Lorenzo tries to go in to try and take command of this race. So I believe he does have the faster car. Malachi Drake was on the top side. Lorenzo can wrap it around the bottom better. And on exit, he's going to be right on the back bumper of the 90. He's going to shoot down to the inside. Side by side down the front stretch. Brian Lorenzo, Malachi Drake entering turn number 1. And before they enter the turn, Brian Lorenzo takes the lead. Malachi Drake instantly goes to trail the 77. He's able to draft him before he loses time because they have a 2 second gap between himself and Paul Irvin in the 3rd place position. Brady Floyd still behind Paul, but Frank Hughes has closed the gap. He is under 5/10 between himself and Brady. And then behind that, there's a whole train of cars. Looks like Nicholas Fuller in that train as well behind Hughes. Behind Fuller is another Hughes. And then Brandon George in the 45. I think this is his first time racing here in the series. Got a equipment geek on the car. I'm not sure if that team's actually competing in the series, but I know he competes with them in other series. He is a friend of Brady's. But it is very nice to see the 45 out here and doing very well too. Travis Lapinus, very solid in the top 10. He's got a very strong car. And Brad Stefane, kind of been like from 10th to 5th all day. But he's under pressure right now. About ready to lose that 10th spot to Landon Lacey, who we saw in the top 3 earlier. I think Landon Lacey is pitted. That car looks really fast, but he's in the back right now. Back up front, we just started lap number 50. Brian Lorenzo is pulling away from Malachi Drake up to just over 0.8 of a second behind him. Paul Irvin, his gap has increased between them as well. He's about a little over a second. And Fuller has gotten around Brady and Hughes. Fuller up to the 4th place position. Stupid mouse. And our friend in the 61 actually lost his spot, and he's in a whole pack of cars. Looks like they're held up between Brady. You can see the 83 there, Dominic Hughes. Right now, and he just got by Frank. And George right now battling side by side with the 61. Brady Floyd trying to hold off his pack of hungry cars. And the 83 is going to be looking to the outside. Definitely with some fresher tires, and he can muster his way there. But Brady is able to slide up in front of the 83. The 83 is looking content behind him. I was expecting his nose to pop out, but I think he's trying to get the run on the outside. Keep those RPMs up, get the run out of the turn, and ultimately have a fast lap, even though it is the longer way around. And there he goes again, trying to pop on the outside, get his nose right there in the quarter panel of the number 20 machine. Well, he goes really high in the turn. I highly doubt that was intentional, but he gets a great run off the exit. Bryn George has been brought into the gap as well. They're really close to 83. Tried to go on the inside, but Brady Floyd with the momentum able to still defend the 5th place position. Landon Lacey has managed to get around Dominic Hughes. Dominic Hughes right now trailing Lacey, and Bryn George looked like he was going to try and make a lot of ground, but he just tapped the wall very briefly. But he's back to the 8th place position, right where he started. Lacey's now going to try and give it a go around Brady. He's going to go around the outside. Brady chooses to defend on the inside. But we'll see the 83. He keeps on trying to go really high, like he wants to go 3 wide. But he can't get... But the run off just doesn't help him. Seems like he's going too high, losing at speed. Because you want to be high, get those RPMs up. If you're too high, it's going to wash you up the track and ultimately lose you speed. Landon Lacey, as you just saw, managed to get into the top 5. And he's right now going to be tracking down the 14 and Nicholas Fuller. Brady Floyd has to settle for 6 right now. Bryn George behind him is side by side with Dominic. Off of the turn, still side by side, but as they enter here, I'm expecting one of them to dive in deep. It looks like they're both going pretty deep. The 83 goes up the track a little bit, and I believe that opens the door up for the 45 to shoot his way through the inside. And Bryn George looking very solid right now in the 7th place position. And Brady Floyd's actually looking to try and gain the spot right now. Looks like Paul Irvin's falling back a little bit. Try and move the camera 1 spot higher to Brady. And they've reeled him in. Landon Lacey is really quick right now. Up to 4th, chasing down Fuller. Looks like he is trying to plan the same move that he did against Brady. Trying to get that nose of the vehicle on the outside. quarter panel. But right now he's trying something different. Shoots the inside of the 14. I didn't really fight too much. 54 up to the third place spot. Right now he's going to track down Malachi Drake, who's about a second and a half in front of him. But Nicholas Fuller trying to kind of cross that over. He's fighting back on the outside. Can't really do anything. He has to dive back in line. And behind them, oh, the 7's really quick. Yeah, he got some tires. Brown's ready to try and get a lap back. I'm going to check and see how many down he is. Aaron Brown's 1 lap down, so if he manages to get around 77, he'd be back on a lead lap. But if a caution were to come out, I think a lot of these people will use another set of tires. So, even though Aaron Brown's in a good spot to get his lap back, still not really a great spot to advance his track position past 17. But with the alternate strategy, I guess you never know how the cautions will fall to the end. If him staying out, saving that extra set of tires does help. It very well could be, and I could be making a fool of myself. But definitely a different strategy, we'll put it that way. Right now, Brown is trying to pass Malachi Drake. Drake doesn't put up a fight, and Brown's going to be trying to track down Brian Lorenzo to get that spot back. Brian right now is at the start-finish line. And then now, yep, you can see the difference between the 77. Well, Brian's just all in away from Malachi Drake. Over 3 seconds. Throughout the field, a lot of people are spaced out. Yep, Dean's back out on track. He has been for some time, but he's 9 laps out in total. 4 laps from Jeremy Lapinus. Actually, whoa, something's happening. Dustin Carroll. Dustin Carroll's up front. Brian Lorenzo. Yep, as I expected. Green flag pit cycles. Then they should be good to the end. If someone wants, they can confirm. But Brian with a nice clean stop. And now's a good shot for people to try and take a strategy. See if they can gain some track position. And Aaron Brown will be in the 4th place position. Out of those guys, he's got the freshest tires, but Lorenzo is about 9.5 seconds away from Aaron Brown for the quickest tires. Well, newest tires, I should say. Carroll decides to pit. Aaron Brown obviously staying out, being on that alternate strategy. Oh, sorry, my ticker just faded and I came back. Sorry. Darnell is still out front, but Carroll did decide to go down pit road, so it didn't lie to me there. So currently, the only people to stay out so far are Joseph Darnell. Aaron Brown will stay out, and then William George in 3rd place position.
The yellow flag is out.
Oh! This throws a monkey wrench into it. Gonna trap down some people at maybe. Might be the opposite that Aaron wanted to see, being on the oldest tires right now and in first. William George probably will pit on this. And they haven't trapped too many people a lap down. I'm seeing the first one lap down is Dominic Hughes. All the way down to 21st. But we'll try and see what happened. If I were to guess, probably something with cold tires. Caused that. You see the 93 coming off a pit road, but he gets off onto the track cleanly. No one's spinning around. Oh, Jeremy Lapinus. That's what happened. Okay. Finally. I'm sorry that took so stinking long. Yeah, he's on the apron. Gets into the grass, locks it up. He said his headset blacked out. That's exactly what happened. Finally was able to find it. Knew it was something simple because there's no like massive damage anywhere. So Brian Lorenzo currently still leading this thing. Everybody in front of Brian started Noah Walter, E89, Stefan. All those people are a lap down. They're going to get the natural wave as pace car goes 2 to go. But for someone who's a lap down behind Brian, well, you're trapped a lap down unless you get the lucky dog. Yep, yeah, you can see those people being told to go around the pace car. And now these people are going to be going double file. Actually, my apologies, they're sent on 1 to go. Yep, so 33. being confirmed by Tyler. Is the car that caused the wreck, so I did show the right thing. And being a one-car spin. Unfortunate that it packs us up here with 30 to go. Had a long green flag run, was really nice to see, but unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Brian Lorenzo going to be leading from the outside, the 51. Paul Irvin on the inside. Brady Floyd in the 20. In the third place, it looks like, or fourth. I think Brady's in fourth and Landon Lacey's in third. His leader can choose the outside, everybody else cannot.
Green, green, green.
Alright, Brian fires it off very late in the box. Catches them off guard. The 51 throttles off really late. Brady Floyd takes advantage of that with a jump. Currently up to third. Right now battling Lacey with Lacey on his inside. Those guys actually get single file early. Behind them, I think that's the 45. He was put in the middle 3 wide. They get it all solved out. The 14 of Fuller decides to back out of it, but Brent George onto the inside right now of Frank Hughes. Frank Hughes trying to get the momentum on the top side, but with the fresher tires, fresher tires, you can get it stick more on the inside. Brent George is going to get his machine up to the 5th place position. Behind him, Malachi Drake was looking like he wanted to go 3 wide. Decided to back out of it. But Hughes right now is battling Fuller. Still side by side with someone, they get that solved out. Malachi Drake going to go to the outside of this battle. See if he can get his nose in that quarter panel of Fuller. Cannot by the backstretch. I believe Aaron Brown pitted for tires that put him back 10th, but now he's on similar strategies to everybody else. Less than 30 laps here to the end. There may still be a couple more cautions, especially being all stacked up. Everybody right now riding the inside line except the 51. And Brent George is going to go to the top side, see if he can get momentum, get a pass. We might see a 3 wide here, who knows? But it doesn't look like Brent has momentum. Brady Floyd and Landon Lacey side by side right now for a second. There we go. There's some 3 wide. Tallman decided to take him 3 wide with Fuller in the middle. They slide up a little bit. Fuller decides to back out. That was really sketchy. Nice move out of Fuller. And Brady's going to maintain the 2nd place position. Landon Lacey hasn't let down yet, though. He's still stalking Brady Floyd. Brent George behind him. Poked his nose to the inside. He might clear the 54 this time by, and he does. The 54 can't do the crossover because the 51 is there. A lot of 50s in this mix. And Tallman's going to try and go for the 3 wide move again, but he tags the 54 and spins him.
The yellow flag is
Oh, big wreck caused by the 47. Not sorry, Reese's. I can see the 47 on these. Oh, actually, I think the 54 came down. Yeah, I think the 54 came down. I don't know what the 47 did without looking at the cockpit. They seem kind of stuck to each other, and then, oh, that's how the 3 got spun afterwards. So, actually, this will be interesting based on race control. So, I apologize, Tallman. I looked at the replay, and it is not cut and dry. But the 54 is going to send it down pit road. I got through that replay nice, quick, and easy. Along with 41. Dean Demmer looks like he's going to top off. Nothing to lose at this point, unfortunately. Before I'm sure has to repair some damage. I wouldn't be shocked if Tallman comes down as well. Yep, there Tallman is. Using his last, gotta be his last set of tires. And off of the pit road, if I can quickly get to his 14. He's going to lead us off of pit road. But a lot of people stayed out. Fuller is actually marked currently 8th on the ticker. This is our 5th caution of the night. And we are just shy of 20 laps to the end of this thing. We'll see how the tires help if Fuller is able to gain any track position. Because it looks like the top 7 have all stayed out. And a lot of people are still in the session. I think the only person actually retired was Forrest Smith. He's 40 plus laps ago. I'm going to see if I can find out who caused that. Or who actually got the EOL from that. I don't see anything about who's to blame. I believe the only person actually caused 2 cautions so far would be the 33. As on his second, he got a drive-through, but with EFRL's penalty system, I've said it before, but I need something to talk about for these caution laps. It's based on how clean you are. So if you're dirty, you get a penalty point, and based on how many penalty points you get, that affects kind of what your penalty is. And the more penalty points you get, the harsher it is going to be. The maximum you can have is 5. Lowest you can have either 1 or nothing. But if you get down there and then you're pretty much can't cause a wreck or you're going to get kicked from the session. And in order to go up, you have to, stay clean. If you get a 5, it means you're really clean. If you get a 1 or a 0, you're really dirty. Hello, Mr. Ollie. How's it going? You get the 54 on that. He was cutting the nose off of Tallman as Dean by race control, so he's the one that got the EOL. Somebody put at the tail line of this. Really big field that we have so far. very shortly. Pace car is going to go to safety at pit road. I feel like that is the only safe place there is on this track. You got a bunch of hungry cars. A lot of people still on the lead lap. Less than 20 laps to go. The aggression is going to ramp up. We've seen a lot of 3 wide already. Being 3 wide has caused like 1 or 2 cautions, but it would not shock me if it were to cause a 3rd or a 4th.
Green, green, green.
That being said, I like 3 wide racing, but I'd rather have it clean. Brian Lorenzo with a great jump over Brady Floyd. Brady Floyd going to be battling right now Bryn George, who's on the inside. Brian's able to get away cleanly. These people in the mirror, they're going to hold themselves up, trying to battle side by side. Brady wants to clear Bryn as quick as possible. Bryn, even though they're friends, you want that track position. Bryn's battling as hard as he can on the inside lane. Brady, I think, is going to be able to clear him. Maybe. Yes, he does. Brady Floyd clears 2nd place and puts himself ahead of the 45. Behind that, Bryn is holding off a hungry pack of cars. 96, I thought was going to spin him there for a second, but thankfully they didn't. The 51 right now to the outside of Bryn George. I think Paul Irvin's not going to be able to clear, but there are 3 wide right behind Bryn with Fuller on the inside. Fuller backs out of it once again. Fuller's been making a lot of smart moves, and he's the guy on the freshest tires, so Irvin can wrap it around the inside. He decides to make it 3 wide. Right now, he's got to do it quickly. The 96 is in the middle, but he can keep it, hug it to the inside and not lose a lot of ground versus these other people. They're going to slide up the track, and that's going to be what causes caution, so Fuller can definitely be aggressive here at the end. He's already in the top 5. I think he started like 8th and then 2 laps already in 5th, so it's very impressive. He's going to be looking to the inside very shortly on the 96. Yep. There he goes. 96 leaves a lane for him on the inside. But he's trying to battle using that higher side, but we'll see entering the turn right now. They're side by side on the front stretch. Fuller up to 4th according to the ticker, has not cleared the 96. And he can't because the 45 is right there. Okay, now he's able to get under Bryn and fight for the 3rd place position. We'll see if he can do anything for the lead if he gets that far. But Bryn George and Brady Floyd definitely have this planned out well. Bryn able to fight back even though his tires are slightly older by using that outside lane. Fuller, though, is going to clear him off of 2. And now Fuller's going to have his sights on Brady Floyd. You can see how much he can dive it in, but Brady's going to... He's going to leave the inside, but I assume Brady's going to want to try and battle back. Yeah, he does pinch him down the front stretch. Trying not to give him a lot of room, but he knows to give him the space, at least in the turn. And off of 2, Fuller has a 2nd place position, but he does not have Brady Floyd cleared. Floyd on the outside can't do much more to defend. He's going to have to fall back to the 3rd place position. And now Fuller all the way up from 8th to 2nd in a matter of a couple of laps still. Okay, oh, so it's 16 laps tires. I didn't know they were fresher. But I didn't know they were that much fresher, which that makes sense why he's making quick and easy work. Brian Lorenzo, though, is going to have a very tough time in the 14 on his new tires. Starting lap number 90 out of 100. Brian Lorenzo's got to make his car as big as possible. You know, got to defend cleanly, but you got to defend somewhat if you want to try and win this race. Fuller with a great pit strategy. those 16 lap tires, and we'll see if it pans out for him at the end of this. Behind him, though, I see some 3 wide behind Brady. I think Brent George is in the middle again. Actually, he's cleared that. I see Tallman with a wrinkled up right side. I know Tallman's on newer tires as well. Tallman's going to make it up to the 5th place position. Unfortunate for Brent, he's going to be falling back. He's caught in the sucker hole at the moment. But I got to look at this battle for the lead. Fuller is a 10th behind Lorenzo. Fuller looking low. Lorenzo going to go down to cover. 9 laps to go here at Kentucky. Down the backstretch. He's able to close right up on his bumper, but Brian's still trying to take that inside line. Down the front stretch, you know, you can see the 14 diving it sooner than the 77. Seeing if he can get his nose under there, but cannot. And I think Frank Hughes also is on fresh tires too. He's caught up to these guys as well. So Fuller, even though he had the great strategy, he has company with other people on fresh tires. This is going to be very difficult for Brian. Brian chops the nose off of the 14. Does what we have to do to maintain the lead though, but that opens the door for Hughes on the fresh tires. 3 wide here for the lead. Hughes is going to take over the lead on the inside. I don't know if that's legal. It probably is though. That's why he did it. Fuller's right now to the inside of Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to be falling back. He's in 3rd at the moment. Into the grass right now of Tallman. Fuller's still in 2nd, but he's right now chasing out someone else. And someone else is also on fresh tires too, but Fuller to the inside right now of Frank Hughes. And technically, Fuller led that lap. We have 5 laps to go here. Kentucky, it is winding down. Fuller to the lead in number 14 Camry. That Toyota TRD paint scheme that he's got going on. Brian right now settled in the 3rd place position. Tallman is actually fallen back a little bit. He lost spots to Jeffrey Israel Jr. and Travis Lapinus. So Travis currently in 5th, and Tallman is looking to see if he can take over that 5th place position. And throughout that, Brady Floyd has fallen back to 8th. 45 has fallen back to 11th. Tire difference is just absolutely killing it. The only person who's doing decent on the old tires right now is Brian. And with 4 laps to go, it's still tough for Brian to hold off Travis. And Travis is going to want that 3rd place spot. You know, you got to get those interviews. Even though I'm sure they care more about points than having to talk to the wonderful me. And with the old tires, Brian comes up the track. Oh, he comes down to try and cover the 16. He actually makes contact with the 16 trying to cover him. Very aggressive out of the 77, but you kind of have to make those moves late in the race, but still no one was turned. Travis actually backed out of it. I'm sure, though, when Travis does that again, he's not going to back out of it, and Brian would go through a spin in the grass. But he's doing that once again. He's got more than a nose onto the inside of the 3rd place. Brian has to fight on the outside. He did lead that lap, but with 2 laps to go, Brian, I don't think is going to be able to hold on to 3rd place. And he very quickly loses it by having to be on the outside in turns 1 and 2. He's going to slot back in line. And we'll see if he makes any moves to try and get around these guys. Lapinus right now to the inside of 61. This is helping Brian able to catch up to it. He's going up and down the track. White flag is out this time by. I got to take a look at our leader, Nicholas Fuller. We got a great battle on for second. So hopefully the camera can see part of that going on. Is second through fourth, all under a blanket down the backstretch. Don't know if any bumpers will be used here. They weren't used at Bristol, which I am still shocked about. But out of 3 and 4, Nicholas Fuller is going to take his first win of the season. And we're going to see him burn it down very shortly. Well deserved out of the 14. Great pit strategy from them there at the end. Travis Lapines is going to take second. Frank Hughes is going to take third. Brian Lorenzo has to settle for fourth. Good, decent point stay for him still. But it looks like Brian left the session as soon as he crossed the finish line. Jeffrey Israel Jr. in fifth. Alex Tallman in sixth. William George in seventh. Malachi Drake, decent showing for him. A lot of ups and downs in eighth. Brady Floyd rallied. Actually, no, he fell back to eighth. But he ended up finishing ninth. Michael Steele in 10th. Matt Cochran in 11th. Dominic Hughes in 12th. Paul Irvin in 13th. Bryn George in 14th. Justin Hughes in 15th. Dustin Carroll 16th. Brad Stefane 17th. TJ Elaine in 18th. Noah Walter 19th. Joseph Darnell in 20th. Dean Demmer. Actually, these guys are starting from 18th. They're all multiple laps down. Dean Demmer in 21st. James Coy in 22nd. Lanny Lacey, Aaron Brown, Jeremy Lapinus, and Forrest Smith is going to round out your fields for tonight. They're getting their pictures taken, and then we're going to see some burnouts from the 14. And we'll have to call them up for some interviews. The Frank Hughes is in the waiting room. I just have to wait for Travis and I think as soon as Travis pops in the booth, I'll start with the interviews and see some burnouts from Fuller. Fuller showed up. Travis isn't yet, but we'll get started soon. No burnouts from Fuller, so it's kind of like a what's his name? Late, kind of like Ryan Blaney, making sure you save your car. Start out with Frank Hughes. He is in the 61 for reference. All right, Frank, it's Matt in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you, Matt.
All right, so nice job there at the end. You're able to use that pit strategy. Got you almost a win there, but third place is still very good for you. So, kind of, how was it? Throughout the race, and obviously with the final call there at the end, which solidified you the deal.
I mean, I'm still learning these next gen cars. I mean, I'll be 100% honest. I think they drive like a big pile of garbage. Um, I just hope and pray, and usually I wreck out in these things, as you can see from Bristol. But I don't. I just stayed calm pretty much the whole run, and just knew to just to keep hitting my marks. I mean, I didn't want to be in anybody's way. I didn't expect to be in the top five at all either. So this comes to shock as me.
Gotcha. I'm sure it's a very good shock for you at the least. So kind of looking at the rest of the season, does it boost your confidence at all and kind of knowing you're able to get these good finishes, or are you just trying to get that stability first?
It gives me confidence, definitely. I mean, I learned a lot with with everybody going three wide and stuff. I learned a lot tonight too. So I mean, looking forward, I think I could get better. I mean, I hope I can.
Gotcha. Well, we do have a long season in front of us. I'm looking at the schedule in front of me. I do see a lot of cookie cutter style tracks, so if it's anything like
Yeah,
tonight, it'd help.
it would, but I take it week by week and just keep chugging along.
Gotcha. Well, um, the other thing I want to ask was about that pitch strategy there at the end. Because I believe it was like eighth place on back decided to do that. So
Yeah,
why
I
did you do it?
I mean, I kind of figured it was my only chance to get up to the front. To be honest, I mean, there was a lot of good guys up front that were on older tires, and I knew that would be the only way to get by them.
Gotcha. Well, it definitely did pan out for you. And I remember seeing your car number in the uh, screen a lot. So definitely a very solid result. Wasn't just all on that pit strategy.
No,
But
no, it wasn't all in the pit strategy, but a lot of it came down to it. And
yep, yeah, I know that pit strategy definitely helped, but still throughout the race, very good, solid run for you. Um, before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
I got to thank my team at Misfit Toys Motorsports, Justin Hughes, Wayne Lowe, Dominic Hughes, and Jeff Israel. We do a lot of practice races usually, and they help out a lot. I also like to thank Hughes's Garage in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Hughes's Garage in Hickory, North Carolina.
Oh, more than one. Um, Also, sorry, I had a question because I know
No, you're
there's
good.
two Hughes Hugheses out on the track. So is there any relation between you two?
Yeah, the 03 is my brother, and the 83 is my son.
Okay, cool. So some family iRacing going on.
Yes, sir.
Hi, well, thank you for your time and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. You too, Matt.
All right, that was Frank Hughes in 61. Very strong finish for him. I'm glad to see him up here. Up next, we are going to talk to the 16 of Travis Lapinus. Hey, Travis, Matt in the booth. You copy? Travis, it's Matt in the booth. You copy?
Gotcha. Sorry.
Okay. No, cool. I'm glad you're here. Or else it'll be kind of awkward. But great finish for you. There at the end, trying not to kind of repeat myself from the other questions I've asked other people. But kind of throughout the race, I know I remember seeing your car number kind of like up in the top five, going back and forth a lot, and then obviously the pit strategy there at the end. So I guess before the pit strategy, which kind of solidified the deal, how was it throughout the race for you?
It was good. I mean, plan A for me at this place is always to conserve tires. I mean, even in that last 20 run, wanted to make sure I didn't cook them in the first 10 of the 20, so I had something left in the last 10. So there's always a certain moderation of tire conservation in my head.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I didn't. Yeah, I knew tires are important, but cool. Also with that final pit strategy, kind of what led up to your decision, and ultimately you guys rocketed past all the faster guys on the old tires.
Just the yellow at that time, or I already had a few. Fuel mileage, I'm honestly not the best at calculating fuel mileage, so I was like, I should make it. But then the decision maker on that was, well, if there's a bunch of green white checkers, I want to guarantee that I'll make it. So I went with that to err on the side of caution.
Okay. Oh, cool. So it wasn't like, you know, trying to do that in spite of everybody else. But
Yeah, well, I wasn't playing games with anybody else. I mean, I knew if I was in the top 13 or so, I'd have a shot at a good top 10. And yeah, the car came to me super late, and I was able to start picking guys off at the bottom.
gotcha. Yeah. Um, before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you want to thank for your performance?
Just team JTD Motorsports, Mike Steele, my brother Dwayne, and Larson. They're a big help when it comes to testing stuff and strategy, that sort of thing. So good finish for Steele tonight as well.
Gotcha. Well, nice job, and thank you for your time.
You bet. Chat you later, Matt.
All right, sounds good. See All right, so that was Travis Lapinus. Came home in second place. We're going to talk to your winner, Nicholas Fuller. Going to go through a quick recap, and then I want to sleep. Hey, Nicholas, it's Matt in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, copy.
All right. Also, before you get going, you like being called Nick or Nicholas?
Nick is good.
Okay,
Or full.
cool. Now, gotta be respectful here in the booth. Um, but it was really interesting because I was watching you passing through people left and right in a matter of, you know, 3 or 4 laps, finding yourself all the way battling Brian there. What ultimately you're the one that led him down pit road, I believe. So what made your decision to kind of split off from going with the rest of the field and then going on pit road and having everybody follow you?
It's it's so tough to pass that I felt like my only chance to win the race was to do what was different than the first, 5 guys or so. I could have not pitted. I took care of my tires, and I could have maybe, had a run at it still. But the guys that, like Frank pitted, maybe he still would have pitted and got to me anyways. I wanted to take the shot to win the race and not just, run third or fourth like I have been.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're still running very strong there at the time. Um, and was there any doubt in your mind, when he was past you there and then you had to pass him back for the lead at the end?
Yeah, who I got hung up there with trying to get the lead, and I wanted to do it in kind of a clean way, and I was bumping him a little bit, and I saw Frank coming, and I was like, all right, I got to make this happen now, and I think we went 3 wide there, and then Frank got the best of me, and I'm like, oh crap, because he's on the same pit strategy as me, and I just ended up getting a good run and being able to make the pass stick. So I think I took care of my tires pretty good, even kind of though I was making it through traffic, running that low line. I was backing it down early in 3, not really scrubbing off speed on 3 and coming out of 4. And I think I just had a little bit more tire left at the end.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, definitely. Very good performance for you. Actually gonna backtrack a little bit, kind of to the beginning of the race. Like, what were your expectations going into the race? Like, were you expecting, be top five, top three, or?
The next gen series. This is my first EFRL win, and I definitely thought it would come in the truck series because I run those way more than these, and I haven't been super strong in these, but it was a good track for me. Kentucky, I've had a lot of like success on it and just running ranked and like trucks and stuff like that. I know back down early, things like that, take care of the tires. So I didn't feel too bad, but I didn't get any practice laps in either because got to get the kids to bed and all that stuff. So I felt decent. Once we got on the track and I felt, how I was running, I felt pretty confident that I had a good shot at it. Just had to make the right calls and keep it off the wall. Didn't want to bounce it off the wall in 4. Easy to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know I have seen a few people do that um throughout the race. But like, how does this help your confidence as we're like heading into Pocono and then later Auto Club?
So we ran Pocono on the trucks, and I just bought the track for that one, but I actually do feel a little bit better now that I've ran it a little bit. Um, but Auto Club. I'll be strong there. I'm pretty sure I'll be strong at Auto Club. Dover's a good track for me. Any of those 1.5s, 1 miles, and even some of the short tracks, pretty good on. Some of the tracks I have less experience on, like Pocono, maybe won't be fighting for the win, but I feel like I could be up there at every other track that I have good experience on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know I did Pocono with the Gen sixes, and that was a um yeah, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for your performance tonight?
Well, I would shout out to the broadcast for putting a show on for us to watch, and for the organizers of the league, most off, and shout out to my wife at home here who keeps an eye on the kids while they're in bed. But you know, if they happen to wake up or something like that, you know, she's cool with me racing down here a couple nights a week. So shout out to her as well.
Cool. Yeah, definitely need that permission, or it get a little rough when you have to turn the computer off.
Yeah, you know it.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. It sounds like it's close to bed, so probably won't be partying too hard. But have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
All right, that was Nick Fuller. He won tonight's race, obviously. Um, Overall was a great race. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to get used to doing this by myself. I might have Kepi here next week. I'm not sure. But I was entertained. Hopefully, everybody else was entertained as well. Um, I'll take any feedback. Trying to now get as better as I can. Overall though, for Kentucky, I didn't quite know what to expect. It's been very boring in other leagues. But this league tends to have a lot of excitement, a lot of clean racing. The occasional wreck. We ended off with like 6 wrecks, which isn't terrible. Next week we are going to go to Pocono, and hopefully that's going to go better than it did for our Gen 6 series. You can catch them. That race is also streamed along with the Truck series on Tuesday nights, both for EFRL. I believe if you put that in YouTube, you'll be able to find it. Each one is a different broadcaster, though. So this was Matt in the booth. Have a good rest of your night. We will see you next week. Same time, same group of people at a different place.